Everybody who works for us becomes family. From these sentiments, a legacy is born. Skills passed down from generation to generation, not only through the Denmar family, but also the very people who have been employed over the years. Each and every individual has played a part in developing this once tiny door-to-door dairy farm into the flourishing business it is today. Denton Osler and his wife Margie founded Denmar not long after they were married in 1973. Back then, farm life was tough. Waking up at 3 in the morning to hand milk their 13 cows, and a mule as transportation to get their milk up to the old cheese factory, Denton and Margie worked hard precisely because they could see the opportunities that the farm offered. This was the beginning of their lifelong journey. A journey that has resulted in today's trusted Denmar brand.
We battled, I'd say, for the first 3 months we really did battle. And then it started picking up and, really focused on our quality, and we were delivering there 7 days a week, even on a Sunday.
Product quality has always been a top priority for Denmar and has been proudly maintained at an extremely high standard. Denton and Margie's desire to package and sell their own milk came with certain challenges, such as obtaining a dairy permit, no easy task under the ruling government at the time. Their land bank loan had to be approved by all the farmers in the area, which meant that a difficult task lay ahead. Denton and Margie did not give up, however, and were ultimately able to start bottling their own milk. With the courage of their convictions, they went from door to door, and even called on a member of parliament to discuss their situation. Their efforts paid off, and they obtained their permit. With their optimism restored, they set up about persuading stores to sell their milk, but were turned down time and time again. Denton's tenacity saw him approach one of the leading influencers in the area. Denton gave his all to convince him to give them a break, and this proved to be a crucial turning point for Denmar. Buyers were suddenly much more open to purchasing Denmar milk and have been stocking their products ever since. Denmar's growth and success began to upset some of their competitors, and one in particular threatened to do everything he could to thwart Denmar's progress. Denton saw this as a sign that what he was doing was working, and this opposition only served to motivate him even more. The family began to expand just as the business did, and Margie found that she was having to juggle milk deliveries with being a mother to 3 young children. The dairy herd had expanded to some 450 cows, and Denmar developed their product range by purchasing from competitors and distributing everything from yogurts to oranges.
And once we got there, it just took off, because the people were so ready for quality at a reasonable price. And at that stage we started distributing things like yogurt and makro. We even sold fresh cabbages and fresh oranges.
Denmar was one of the first dairies to make use of a highly innovative 40-point rotary milking parlour. Everything was going well, but the upkeep of the cows was becoming more expensive and more farmland was desperately needed. Never afraid to take a leap of faith, Denton and Margie resolved to try something completely different. They sold their cows, outsourced their milk production, and ploughed their money, literally, into a new venture. Denton and Margie invested the money they had made from the sale of their cows into growing green asparagus, which was then practically unknown in South Africa. The local white asparagus farmers were convinced that this could never work. But determination, hard lessons learned, and money lost eventually resulted in consumers being persuaded to try green asparagus. Denmar was soon exporting as far afield as Europe and Australia, and the introduction of innovations such as hydro-cooling meant that they could harvest later into the year and be more productive. The careful nurturing that the young asparagus spears received was a reflection of Denmar's treatment of their employees and livestock. This has made a real impact on the South African farm industry. Farmhands are an integral part of Denmar's success and are hand-picked and trained to the highest standards. Today, Denmar's farmers are just as passionate about their milk and cows as Denton and Margie were when they started out. They see themselves as stewards of the land and ensure that their cows are properly taken care of every step of the way. Farmers ensure that each cow has the right amount of nutritious food, plenty of fresh, clean water, and comfortable bedding to rest on.
It's nice to see your cows in a good condition and your cows being happy. And a happy cow, a happy life.
They are milked at least twice daily, with the milk being pumped into a large storage tank on the farm and quickly cooled to keep it fresh. The milk is then transported to the Denmar dairying processing plant in an insulated tanker, where it is thoroughly tested for safety, quality, and sanitation. All these checks make Denmar products some of the safest and most regulated food products South African consumers can buy. The Denmar factory manager oversees the daily running of the processing plant and the testing of the milk. It's a role he's been doing for some 25 years.
My position is I do all the milk, buying in of milk, packing of the milk, and sending it to distribution. I start 4 in the morning and I only leave when the production is finished.
Along with being responsible for the pasteurization, homogenization and standardization processes so that every batch of Denmar milk has the creamy taste that our customers love. His dedication to quality exceeds that of even some of their largest competitors. All Denmar products are packaged and distributed by a very well-run logistics department using temperature-controlled refrigeration trucks. Denmar's efficient delivery service includes providing real-time updates so that their customers never have to wait long to enjoy the delicious taste of Denmar. It's one thing to run a profitable business, but Denton and Margie have a more principled approach. For them, it's not only about the numbers. They have always believed that making money is not the only measure of a successful business. Rather, it must follow certain guidelines and stick to them. Impeccable quality products. Denmar's strict quality control standards are higher than South Africa's national dairy standards, with every last detail taken into account. This includes Denton's decision to pay a premium for precision welding of the milk pipelines, as even the slightest hairline crack could cause an entire tank of milk to be unusable due to changes in bacterial presence. Excellent service. Denmar aims to exceed the expectations of every customer, and everyone involved takes full responsibility for his or her portion of the work involved. The drivers are provided with testing kits from the quality control lab to make sure the milk is fresh and free of antibiotics before loading it up, and are tracked along their route to make sure the trucks reach the right place at the right time, running at the right temperature. All-round respect. This applies to both customers and employees. Long before this was a legal requirement, Denmar regarded respect and loyalty as binding contracts, and this is still an ongoing theme in every working relationship at Denmar. Employees are treated as members of the family, with only the utmost respect, and in return, this is reciprocated. Denmar is so much more than just a flourishing business striving to provide superior quality products to consumers. Denmar is a family, and every member of the Denmar family understands the value of hard work. It's this same passion and perseverance that has made Denmar a success and distinguishes Denmar from its competitors.
I think family is very important in that it creates a similar type of principle and value system that you buy into. I think family there has the same outlook that you do, and the same philosophy on life. I think here at Denmar, what makes family important is that we try and create a culture where people buy into that and that philosophy, where we know what is important. We have a very set and principled standard of how we do work, how we treat staff. I think that to me is what makes a successful team at Denmar.
The fact that Denton and Margie refused to give up, no matter how hard things got, is a testament to the essence of the Denmar brand. A sustainable working community that cares for its employees as individuals, and a business that continually strives to provide customers with only the best and most delicious products. Denmar, quality products that you have come to know, love, and trust.